Wow, this is very, very difficult because we've given him the title of the greatest quarterback. Now, the problem with athlete, you start getting into, well, who's more athletic?
Or skill sets, yeah.
And it's really, really hard. It's hard to compare the greatest basketball player, me, ever, Michael Jordan, with Tom Brady being the greatest quarterback. Because I could go to Jim Brown. Jim Brown, we as Hall of Famers consider him to be the greatest of the Hall of Famers for what he accomplished. Now, Tom Brady, he has taken his game and as a Hall of Famer to new standards because of longevity. So you're going to have to be able to consider that. Basketball players, though, they play offense and they play defense. I mean, the Patriots have won a few championships by a guy kicking the ball and by guys intercepting the ball. Like Tom Brady was actually sitting on the sideline and got championships. So to me, it's hard to compare him to people like Jordan, to people like Muhammad Ali as boxers, because you got to be offensive and defensive. So he's there. I don't like to separate him. I would not like to say he's the greatest athlete ever. I think that he is in the breadth of the 5 greatest athletes that I've been able to see in my lifetime. But when you talk about all-round athletes, because I asked Jim Brown this question. Jim Brown, who's the greatest football player? He shocked me, knocked me off my feet. He told me.
Amendola.
Yes. Jim Thorpe. I was like, oh, my goodness. Hadn't even thought about him. I mean, these guys played both ways. He was an unbelievable athlete who happened to play football. So Tom Brady is in that breath. What we're seeing from the time he's turned 30 to whenever he quits, I believe will make him very, very special. And, yes, he will always be in the conversation of the greatest of the greats.
To stay on Brady for a second here, what's so amazing about Brady being in this discussion, he's the only person in the who is the greatest athlete of all time discussion who's not a great athlete. Like, who's not, by that I mean, he doesn't have amazing, natural, some people would call them God-given physical traits. Like, he is not incredibly fast. He doesn't, Mark Schlereth yesterday said he knows he won the genetic lottery. He's touched by the hand of God to get some certain things. We look at certain guys. Jim Brown, for example. People don't know this. He's the greatest lacrosse player ever. Yes. They had to change the rules.
Yes.
Like, when he retired from 2 sports, is the best ever in those sports. You look at a guy like LeBron, LeBron could have been amazing at a bunch of sports. Like, maybe not the best in the world at them. So Brady doesn't have those physical gifts.
No.
And he's got more physical gifts than I do. But compared to the guys that is in the discussion, look at how he ran at the combine. Look at what he was in college.
Right. I would say that how he throws the football and his ability to be accurate is a gift.
Sure. Agreed. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the athleticism.
He can throw the football and as accurate as Steph can shoot the ball.
Sure, and Steph's another guy that I would say is not an amazing natural athlete, like compared to these other people. So he's in the club, like along with Wayne Gretzky. With that's a guy you got to consider. I would say people get mad like Barry Bonds when we're talking about like teams, guys that could do all things. Go ahead.
You're the kind of guy that doesn't like to compare apples to oranges ever, and this is one of the perfect examples where you got to keep these guys in their own lane. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player I ever saw play, far and away. But you put him on a basketball court, you put him on a football field.
And,
we have to.
Yeah, and where Gretzky was compared to the second greatest player.
Of course.
You have to mention that. I mean, man, he was amazing.
Of course. And the talent level at this point where athletes are getting bigger and stronger and smarter and faster, to even be considered one of the greatest athletes at your position or within your sport is unbelievable enough. I think it's very hard to compare and cross over and say, well, who's the best athlete? LeBron has unbelievable gifts, the likes of which, the strength, the mobility, the flexibility I've never seen. But who knows if he could do the same thing with his accuracy that Tom Brady could, or get a puck in a little area at the time. So I think these guys are definitely at the top of the game. I think it's very hard to say he's the greatest athlete.
Yeah, Tom's ability to perform at an advanced age will always have him in a very, very special class. His ability to be able to get his team in championship position will always have him in a very, very special class. I believe I said yesterday or 2 days ago, Tom's going to win 7 Super Bowls. So when he's done, you're going to have to talk about him. Athletic, non-athletic, he will be part of all conversations when you talk about the greatest who have done it in all sports.
And the ability to stay healthy. Like, that's a huge, like, I give guys credit for that. The longevity is an enormous part of this. I know there's almost nothing more cliche in sports talk than Mount Rushmores, so allow me to do one quickly if I could. I try to think about this when we talk about the greatest athletes of all time. Like, what are some sports that have been going on forever?
Golf.
Since the beginning of time, no. Since the beginning of time, people want to know who can win in a fight. So the greatest, to me, the greatest fighter of all time has to be on there. That's Muhammad Ali. Since the beginning of time, people have wondered, who's the fastest guy out here? Who can run, whether it's from lions or saber-toothed tigers or whatever? Usain Bolt. So he's got to be on there. I also want to be fair to all people. Who's the greatest female athlete of all time? Serena Williams. She's got to be on there. That leaves one spot for the greatest team athlete ever. Some people would have Michael Jordan. Some people would have Tom Brady. I have LeBron James. But Brady is in that discussion of all sports history. Is his face on the mountain? It damn well might be. And he's not done playing. It's remarkable.
I have a different mountain range, but we'll get to that in a break.
Ali, Bolt, Serena, LeBron. There you go. There it is. There's your four.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.